Sometimes, after a painful relationship and enough emotionally exhausting experiences, people change, and they change in ways they do not fully notice at first. Not dramatically. The process is quiet, psychologically and emotionally subtle. Maybe they spent years trying to hold unstable relationships together, trying to calm situations that constantly felt unpredictable, trying to feel safe around people who kept making them feel uncertain. And eventually, after trying for a long time to hold everything together, they make the difficult decision to leave, to finally step away from what kept hurting them. And that decision is brave, because after enough emotional exhaustion, peace starts feeling incredibly valuable. So slowly, they recover, and they begin rebuilding themselves. Step by step, life becomes quieter, more stable, less draining. Their nervous system finally starts calming down again. And for the first time in a long time, they finally have the energy to focus on themselves. They start going to the gym, running, reading more, going to therapy, building routines, trying to create a life that feels healthier and more stable than before. And after a while, they no longer feel consumed by another person's unpredictability. Working on themselves feels empowering. They feel more grounded, more self-aware, more in control of their life again. And these changes are genuinely healthy. Some people truly do become happier with the life they rebuilt so carefully. The peace, independence, and solitude start feeling safe, sometimes even fulfilling. And there is nothing wrong with that. But for other people, something more complicated quietly starts happening underneath the surface. They still want connection, still miss intimacy sometimes, still imagine sharing life with someone. But little by little, their relationship with vulnerability starts changing. They begin needing more space than they used to. Certain people start feeling draining much faster than before. Relief appears when plans get canceled. Connection still feels good, but mostly when it stays manageable and safe. And after enough time, the same fear that once kept someone trapped inside painful relationships can quietly start appearing in a different form. You meet someone kind, but immediately start scanning for incompatibilities. You lose interest the moment closeness starts becoming real. You start analyzing people instead of connecting with them. You start feeling tired by uncertainty itself, not necessarily by toxic people, just by unpredictability. And gradually, your world starts becoming smaller in subtle ways. Your routines become stronger. Your standards become more specific. Your life becomes more controlled, not in dramatic ways, in quiet ones. You stop building your life around openness and connection, and start building it around emotional safety. And the difficult part is, a lot of this still feels healthy while it is happening. That is what makes the pattern difficult to recognize, because the language around it still sounds responsible. Healing, protecting my peace, working on myself. And those things do matter. But sometimes the mind slowly shifts from recovering from pain to avoiding vulnerability itself. And those are not the same thing. Because eventually, something strange can happen. The loneliness stops feeling dramatic. You stop feeling like something is missing all the time. Your life still functions normally. You work, exercise, stay productive, take care of yourself. From the outside, everything looks stable. But underneath that stability, you slowly stop building a life that includes emotional risk at all. And real connection will always involve some level of uncertainty, some level of exposure, some level of unpredictability. No amount of healing removes that completely. Human beings are still designed for connection. And maybe that is the difficult balance some people eventually face, learning how to protect themselves without slowly becoming emotionally unreachable in the process. Not because their healing was fake, and not because protecting yourself is wrong, but because the same fear that once kept someone trapped inside painful relationships can later keep them distant from healthy ones too, just in a quieter way. And most people never consciously choose that. They slowly adapt into it,